I don't think that'll pass.
Like somebody did that on purpose.
All right, so I'm at a property right now. This is a property walkthrough. My pops. That's my pops right there. He is a drywaller and a plasterer. So what he does is he goes in and he gets all the drywall done and the blue board done and all that type of stuff. And he has this job right now, right, where the guy said, hey, I bought this property. I owe a certain amount on it. I need a ton of work that still needs to be done to it. And I wouldn't mind getting out of it. So my pops is like, yo, Mike, let's check this thing out. Maybe instead of doing a job, maybe we just buy the damn house. So I'm going to bring y'all through this walkthrough and show you guys exactly what we look at when we go through these walkthroughs.
So the one guy that has the contract that's in charge, he wants to get out of the property right now. He wants out because he's out of state and he can't be here to do what's left to do. And there's nobody else in state to do it. So he called me, he called us and asked us if we were interested, first of all, to give him a price on the blue board, the plastering, and the painting. But he still has a pretty long ways to go. Even after we're through, he still has all his fixtures and all his finished cabinets and counters and.
Okay, so what is going to take this thing to the finish line? We got to get some inspections done, right?
Correct. We need the electric inspected.
Okay.
Which I can't see a problem because they updated it already.
Okay, so they did a lot of the electrical work already.
Yep, the HVAC and plumbing, that needs to be inspected.
Okay. So before you can even blue board this thing up, you have to go ahead and get an inspection because the inspector, if you blue board it before you do the inspection, the inspector is going to come in and say, hey, I can't see the things I need to see. You got to take the blue board down. So one thing that needs to be done, we're looking at this as like if we're going to buy the property, right? If we're going to buy this thing, we have to factor in that we got to get these inspections done.
Right.
So one thing you could do if you're going to buy the property, and you have a personal relationship with an inspector, you can have them come check it out to see if this thing's going to pass. I don't think that'll pass.
Like somebody did that on purpose. And then after that, after the mechanicals are inspected, we think about insulation, and then that needs to be inspected.
Okay, got it. So we have all these inspections, and then we have blue board, plaster, paint, finish work, like the floors, kitchen cabinets, trim, all that type of stuff. So pretty much all that needs to be done is inspections, blue board, plaster, paint, finishes. And this thing would take it to the finish line. I think this property would probably resell for like $450, $500.
Easy.
Yeah.
There's a finished basement too. So
we got to figure out what this guy is all in at. I think we have an idea, but dang, and a finished basement. So we're in the basement now, and I didn't even know this when I ran my numbers before I got here, but this is going to add some square footage. You guys might not really be able to see, but this basement is about to be finished, which means that's going to add the square footage, probably an extra like 800 square feet, right? Maybe even more.
Yeah, anyways.
And that boosts the ARV, right? So now we said before, ARV was like 450 to 500. It might be even more if you finish this thing. So then what you look at is you got to figure out what the cost is to finish this thing. So we're looking at all the costs right now, right? We're looking at the cost to inspect everything, to do all the finish work, and to potentially finish the basement and see what we can get for a price if we finish the basement. Okay, so now that we are back at the office, we gotta crunch some numbers. We figured out that if we finish the basement, we would resell this property, or what we call the after repair value, the ARV. We would resell it for $550,000. Now, this is just a very quick way to run your numbers. We'll take this number and we'll times it by 75%, or 0.75. And then once we get that number, which that brings us to about 412,000 bucks, we got to minus our repair costs. So we minus repairs. This thing is going to take about $100,000 to reno. So we would have to buy this property around 312K. So if we bought this property around 312K in cash, it would be a deal. Now, come to find out, this guy owed about 350. So it doesn't really make sense for him to sell it at 312. Now we can do something creative where we just come in and we do the repairs for him and then sell it at 550 without ever buying it. This is called a novation agreement. So we're going to see if the seller is going to be willing to do something like that. But if you want to learn how to crunch these numbers and how to do creative deals and all that type of stuff, go to joinblueprintrei.com, get in that community, and let's do some deals together. I'll see y'all there.